Welcome everyone, Dr. Thor here. Get ready for Gnosis. Well, I want to talk about radionics and what's considered traditional magic. Now, energy is energy. And I'm a little sick and tired of this constant hang-up, which I've heard from people since day one, the minute you get into the occult sciences, and they are sciences, that there's a big problem because of the general populace of boobs out here that may be abusing things, or kind of the odd people that get involved with it. And a lot of people think that there is a prevalence, and it seems to me that the most practitioners of quote occultism seem to be people that are on the dark side. I don't really know. I mean, most of your books out there are not really teaching you that. And you must remember that the occult sciences is very varied, and almost everybody is in it. Use a Ouija board, you're an occult scientist. Tarot cards, runes, etc. You're an occult science. So this is energies and tapping into informational energetic fields which may have manifested for information as spirits or other things. Ignoring this aspect of it. And that's why subtle energy physics really is cutting edge in the next level. Again, we're able to use ancient practices and modify it into something that's easy, safe to use, and very effective. And of course, it allows you to do so many more things if you're doing more traditional practices than is what's considered only radionics. So we move into all these areas. We include in our radionic practices the use of occult symbols, occult science symbols. We use candles, other things. Well, these are just energies. And that's all occultism really is. Now, if you want to get into worship of anything, well, that's really not what the occult sciences are about. The occult sciences, which are part of subtle energy physics, is about using energies, and worship is never really part of it. Now, if you want to attract spirits in a particular way, well, we have courses in all these things. Now, the one thing you never ever do generally is do any kind of direct connection to spirits through a negative practice, giving a blood sacrifice, worshiping, etc. Now, but spirits can be very human, so they do something for you and you leave them fruit, a drink, a cigar, etc. These are the type of things which are traditional to just kind of thank the spirits. And of course, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. When you start getting involved in worship, and if you do silly things like blood sacrifices, well, you're connecting yourself to that entity. And also, we have to be very careful. I'm against all of that. I'm a vegetarian. I try not to eat anything that's alive, even fruits and other things. I like to eat foods that are given to me, things that come off of trees, avocados, apples, etc. Things you don't even have to, that replenish itself, no matter what that may be. And a lot of plants do as well. So they have energy, they're alive like everything else. And of course, if you're killing anything and eating meat, well, you're putting yourself in a negative energy reality. And you're again attaching yourself to the earth, and as such, you're going to have to do primitive things to get results. The whole idea is to rise above all that. Now, one of the ways that, the best ways, which we've been doing for some time, and offer the rate card that you rub oil on, which is amplifies that particular alchemical oil. Now, I don't know if people understand what alchemical oils are, but they're vibrations again. They're pure energetic vibrations, and these formulas have been really put together for literally thousands of years and modified slightly. And, there's different types of alchemical formulas, which are usually, when you're using our rate card, you're rubbing the oil formula. But we have them in powders, we have them in sprays, we have them in incenses, etc. Because maybe you need it in a certain way. People overlook things like powders. Powders you can sprinkle in place. You do a little bit of it across your front door, maybe in some other place where someone can't see it, but they step on it, and these are the type of things you can use powders for. So these are all many, many ways of tried and true empowerments that work. There are also things that help your radionic ritual. So if you take a ritual bath with a particular formula, let's say uncrossing, and you've got an uncrossing rate card or dialed into your machine, well, you're going to get a lot better results. I mean, people are very highly crossed. They have huge amounts of negativity around them. These build up to high levels and eventually work on you physically, mentally, and spiritually. So it can be a real problem even if you're not having that yet. I test a fair amount of people, and people have some very high levels of being crossed because of their negative activities, but it hasn't affected them that much yet, meaning their manifesting and health capacities, which we also, energies that we rate, are still okay. But most of them are, 5, they're average, which means they're 5s. Once they start going to 4s and 3s, well, you're in trouble, and that can happen quickly. So you should always take care of a cross condition, and we have many tools to do that. The best way is everybody needs to stay on cross with their actual energy cells, as well as keep their chakras open and, in general, protect themselves. Those are the 3 critical things of people, because if you're under attack, if you're crossed, if your health isn't good, well, you're not going to manifest well. And it's going to be difficult to take care of things in your life. Meaning, if you start doing radionic type work, well, manifestation of that's going to be poor because you have all these negativities that are blocking you. So this is something people don't understand. There's 2 major things people don't understand. And I have it all figured out. The entire way to manifest to the highest possible levels you can do, to reach the state above human as well. We have all that training there. And people want shortcuts by just getting tools, and I certainly understand that, but the bottom line is you have to build your ability to use these tools. You have to open up certain capacities, you have to make sure you have no blockages, and people are slow to do this. They just want to grab something, and of course, using cells and everything else are a great help to you and highly recommended, but you got to think past to that in terms of also going to higher levels, but most people don't want to do that. Maybe that's just for a certain professional class of people that want to really be kick-ass manifestors, meaning you have practiced the occult gym, you've practiced the ultimate occult secret, the centering, and of course you're working on your visualization again, these are tools that rarely sell, and you're really making a big mistake. So it's all there. We teach you how to do it. We have a whole series of courses. Then we have a whole bunch of practical books with techniques in them, which are psychic based, from extreme abilities to other things. There are all sorts of things there, and they all work to a certain degree. Now, we try and make it exciting, but you have to be realistic as well. But these things do work to build up your empowerments and your abilities radically. But you have to be with the program. And that's when, if you have like the Extreme Abilities book, well, you better have the Extreme Abilities energy cell. These are lifetime investments. Once you get one set, and you need the set with the wrist laser and the actual rod laser. And these are going up because wrist lasers are now climbing in cost like so many other things. They're going to have to pretty soon increase the prices of our kits. But once you have one kit, that's all you need. You don't need to get another kit. You don't need to get another wrist unit, box, etc. It's all there. Once you have one, it's all you need. So the whole idea is everyone needs to understand that as well. But when you're using radionics, knowing which particular oil you want to put on that particular rate card is very important. And these are all listed in the traditional sorcery course. Really the finest practical magic course you'll ever run into of how to use herbs, powders, incenses, and of course the classical oils that have been used for years. And probably a lot of people don't know that, but many of the practices of magic have been done with the use of alchemical oils. Now, these are actual oils, essential oils, and you mix them together and you put them in a base, and they vibrate a particular energy. Certain plants are known to have certain energies in them: health, controlling, money, protection. So this is very classical that we've used the natural environment, and shamans over thousands of years have developed this. Now, these tend to change per region. Now, our particular traditional sorcery course, and it's called sorcery because it's non-religious. There's no other meaning towards that. And certainly you don't want to look up what it means in Webster. Webster, who is he? He was a goofball pilgrim Christian or wherever the heck he was. But the whole idea, I use the term sorcery to mean non-religious. So there's nothing here you have to do anything. There's no praying. There's no creating temples. There's no sacrifices. None of that stuff are involved in that. And that's generally very rare anyway. So we do need to understand the fact that, you need to understand, excuse me, the formulas themselves. And we even show you what's in there to a certain degree, what effects it has for those that really want to be a scholar. But ultimately, how boring is that? And you don't want to make your own formulas. It's a nightmare. It's difficult. We've had somebody doing this for close to 40 years. They make everything with organic essential oils. They combine them perfectly. You need this. And it's more than just the formula. You've got to understand, when you buy something from Radionic Tech, what you're doing is buying from a person from beginning to end who's empowering it. We are 40-year-old alchemical person who puts these oils together. Been doing it for years. I mean, just the fact that she touches the bottles and thinks about it is putting these to super high levels. The second thing is that being connected to Radionic Tech, again, to high levels. So you're getting all these extra benefits beyond just what you could consider the physical makeup. But we also go supreme there as well. We use a pure base because some essential oils, and I don't know if people understand that, but essential oil is the combination of pounds of a particular herb or flower or something else. Now, things that have very little oils in them are like rose petals. So you need, I don't know how many pounds of rose petals it takes to make a half an ounce or something, or just very small amounts. So that's why rose oil is very expensive. So you don't use lots of it. You would then put it in a base, a pure base formula, which is usually grapeseed oil. This is pure, neutral, and doesn't affect the energy, but it serves as a carrier wave. And of course, there's so many other essential, and these are essential oils, which means they are made from natural, organic, whatever that material may be. There's so many different things, from roots to everything else. There is a few essential oils that are based on what used to be old animal products. Musk, Civic, or whatever it is, some things that used to come. Now, these are all now the artificial brand. We don't use any animal products whatsoever. And it doesn't matter that much. These are used at small amounts, and there again, we have super empowerment. You also can get a super empowerment energy plate, which is on the formula page, and this will empower you even further. So you put your oils on it, it empowers it, and there's a disc there as well. So it's one of our many, quote, CD-type tools that we offer, which are very powerful and very easy to use and very attractive. So, but it's all listed there, and there's very much subtleties from formulas to formula. Now, all the formulas in the book are available from us. If we've neglected to put it online, just tell us, and we will put it online, and then you can order it. And they do come in several different types of formulas. Meaning, oils, of course, is what most people, and we use a very unique oil formulas. Our bottles our basic small bottles are red, and they have a rollerball inside. Red, again, stimulates the energy there. Our oils also have a sigil on them. So it's not just the name of the actual alchemical oil you're getting. We put an energy sigil on the bottle as well. Again, 100% exclusive to Radionic Tech. No one else does this. Now, there are a few people who have copied us over the years and now use Rollerball oils. But the great thing about Rollerball oils is you never have to touch. Your fingers don't ever touch them. So you don't get, even though the smells are usually wonderful, but you don't have to get it on your hands. You also, because you're putting such a small amount onto a particular candle, and we have our course now, our traditional sorcery course now comes with a huge amount of CDs that explain everything. So it's a whole audio course plus the written course. And what the audio course gives you is the new way of using things. Instead of going the traditional, using taper and other candles, which are very expensive and messy and put off a lot of dirty soot. Well, we don't do any of that anymore. We use only what are called tea lights, and we tell you how to use them, and they're fantastic. I've been doing this for many years. Very cheap, very easy to use, no mess, no soot. It's wonderful. I used to burn 9, 10 candles a day in just one ritual. I usually had 3 or 4 going. And the amount of soot you put off was pretty shocking. And you breathe that in and it's dangerous. Paraffin is a byproduct of gasoline. Stay away from it, particularly in that fashion. So we tell you how to do all that. So the course, the traditional sorcery course, will be the link underneath here. And is a fantastic tool for you. I mean, everything is there. Of course, you have to buy the oil separately. And there's 2 size. There's a big oil size and there is our smaller oil. But the whole idea with the roll-on is that you roll it onto the particular tea light, and all you've got to get is a little bit on there. Now, most of the oils, because they're pure, we don't put in colors and fancies. I mean, there's a few formulas you put a little bit extra in them, but 99% of them are 100% pure, and that means they don't generally have a color to them. So it's even hard to see if they're on there, but the way you check is you sniff it. Does that candle now smell of that oil? Well, you're done. So the whole idea is I've had bottles I've been using now for 3 years that I use at least 3 or 4 times a week. So these oils last. Not only that, they really never go bad. I left some of these oils in a very hot storage shed in the California desert that I found in a little box a few years later, and they were in perfect condition energetically, period. So, wow. So these oils are very powerful. They last forever, and you want to build up a certain supply. You know, there's the necessity of oils to get in general: bend over, crown of success, money, protection, what else? Uncrossing. All of these are critical that you have. But there's all sorts of other formulas depending on what you're into. There are numerous types of love formulas if that's what you're looking for. And that's another thing people tend to overlook, is that you can use a love formula on someone to control them. But that's for another discussion. But the whole idea is to blend this. So what you really have, and you can get a couple of these, what are called the rate card oil plate, which again amplifies and helps project these. Now the beautiful thing about the alchemical oils is they're already vibrational in nature. Yeah, there's a physicalness to them, but this is a energetic product you have here that's basically based in natural oils. So this makes it work really well with radionic machines and everything else. And you can rub a little bit of oil from the applicator onto anything. I'll write down something, put a rune next to it, and then I'll take my oil and just anoint the paper with it. You just roll it across a little bit. And that's another way to empower something. So everything you do, you empower that way. You can put this on our new Scion generators. You put a little bit on a piece of paper. You lay that piece of paper on the Scion generator, and now it's broadcasting that energy. So, I mean, that's very, very exciting. So you don't have to get rates. You don't have to get numbers. You just use the oils, and it's as simple as that. So, you know, I try and do things very simple because I really am a practical radionic magician, or basically techno-shaman, you could say. So I'm busy. I don't want to be dialing, doing different things, using tons. I used to have boxes and boxes of candles, and they were so hot and they were so stinky, and they put out stuff, so you couldn't burn them in the house. So you had I had several sheds that I bought and built to put out there so I could have actually places to do in the outside, so you didn't have to breathe those toxins in. Now we've moved away from all that. But, you know, it makes it difficult. If it's going to be hard to do, you ain't going to do it. It's as simple as that. So really the high-level techno-shamanism, which is a kind of a whole new tradition now, which is using subtle energy physics, both in a machine-based and also based in old magical terms, and putting these together in a synergistic, very powerful system. So this is a fantastic thing to understand and use, and the combination makes very powerful. You know, one of the problems is, and we're always trying to amplify, is still the energy. So when you have these alchemical oils, you have a very powerful witness to broadcast to anybody, including yourself. Now, this is difficult to find, and it's instantaneous because it's sitting there. You don't have to get rates for it. You don't have to do anything complicated. You just pop it in the box on the rate. Now, you'll see with this particular lecture I'm having that the actual little thumbnail is the rate card that everybody should have. So people should go there and grab these. They're in stock, ready to ship. All you need then is to pick an oil or two, and as I said, these things last for years. Essential oils are very expensive, so the prices on these are I don't know if they're expensive, but they're not cheap. But they are cheap if they last years. So the point is, you have something like this for years, if amortized over years. You're talking about pennies a day to use, even if that, maybe a few dollars a year that would cost to use these. So, but good stuff costs, and you want the best so you can manifest, and you want to make sure you have all those formulas on hand. You have exorcism, you have banishing in case you have problems with people and spirits. Well, you need all that. And of course, we will be developing some sort of rates, but you don't have to do that. I mean, the use of alchemical oils are so varied and so powerful that everybody should get into it. Everybody should have the course. And I would check that particular link down there as well. We may have this particular course on sale when you actually want to get it. May or may not be. I've taken on and off sale many times. So when you see it, grab it. So these are very exciting tools to use. And the whole idea is, we can spend hours dialing things in, which most people don't have a chance of getting right. And all this turning of dials are nothing more than tuning into the actual energy that you're trying to draw to you. Well, we do that. You don't need to tune into energies if you roll it onto a piece of paper or onto a rate card. It's as simple as that. And we're going to have rate cards for everything. And this is a great way to back it up. I mean, we have rate cards for firewall protection. Firewall protection also is an alchemical oil. So everything that you have there, protection, money, etc., you can get an oil, roll it on that particular rate card, little bit again, and you're done. So, and you're adding huge amounts of energy on top of the signal, and there is an actual rate number on there as well. So everything is there. This is the great new system to make things easy. Because again, people are too busy, it takes too much time, it takes too much technical ability to get numbers. Well, we're moving away from that. Even though we are producing dial boxes in the near future, we've got some prototypes coming out, and we're trying to find boxes that we can use in general as something we can offer, trying to get something up to the level that we need it. But the reality of it all is that these systems are there and you can understand what it is. So getting the traditional sorcery course is a little gem. Everybody should have this. You should read through it. You should understand how to do that. And maybe you know how to pick things. It teaches you how to make the classic little Awanga bags and how to make poppets, otherwise known as voodoo dolls. All this stuff is fun to know. It's all there. It explains it. It tells you what certain herbs are good for. And all this is classical information that I've taken from many different sources and put them all together. So it's all there. And of course, we have the usual empowered book. You put your photograph in there. You look at the actual sigils to activate your magical abilities. And as I said, all this stuff is positive. There are formulas that show you how to perform justice and retribution rituals, and all that is very important as well. That's part of life. You should know it. You should know what happens there, how to do those, etc. So what a gold mine that is. Grab it while you can. So everybody should have that in their library, and it's well worth it. And the actual I think there's 7 or 8 CDs you get with it are fantastic sigil tools, again, that you put your photograph in. So all of this is empowering you the easiest possible way to do it by sending energy to you 24/7, building up your magical abilities slow but powerfully. It's the only way it can be done. You can't zap somebody and they have power all of a sudden. That's a fantasy. Initiations are mostly things that open doors for you. And of course, it means that a group or a person has went there and initiated you into a particular, or sending energy to you that opened the door. So now you have this energy flowing around you. But, it's not part of you. To make it part of you, you have to do the practices. And that's why initiations are special in one way, and in other ways, it doesn't give you instant power. Nothing gives you instant power. I've never seen it. It's all part of being connected to the energy. Yes, and a group is connected. Radionic Tech is connected. So when I connect you to a particular stream of empowerment by either using a energy cell, a rate card, etc., well, you've opened the door that others beginners would never be able to do by just trying to do it themselves. But a fantastic course, so do go there and check that out. And it's a fantastic tool. You may even want to get a hardcover version of that because it's something you may use a lot. So combining that with regular radionics, and you can, as I said, you can rub the oil on a piece of paper, put it on the witness plate, and send that to somebody there. It's just as simple as that. You don't need to get numbers. It's already vibrating. The numbers are very psychological, based on your consciousness. Numbers are what you believe in as a person. So that's why when you turn a dial, that happens. But in terms of what's happening in those machines, really nothing is happening. There's a minor change in the potentiometer where you are opening and closing that kind of like a valve. But that is so minor it really doesn't do much because there's nothing there to push that. So we overcome all this stuff by using very powerful, specially designed, special exclusive technology that only Radionic Tech has to open these stuff up and broadcast it. So with all that, that's how it all works. So combining the two is critical. The other thing to do is actually get a tea light, and we always recommend you put it in a holder. Tea lights are very safe, but I've noticed that, when you put a lot of energy into them, particularly using our oils, is that many times I'm finding now is that they kind of bubble over, which is really amazes me that they get that energetic. So you're going to find a little bit of mess that drips off. Now, if you do that in your particular box, and generally you put it on the top of a box, you're going to make a big mess out of it. You're going to ruin your equipment. So put it in a tea light holder of any type that you like. Mostly they're made out of glass. I guess you could find metal ones, but always put your tea lights in a holder when you burn them, and then put them wherever you're doing. Because if you do it the other way, it's so easy to make a mess. And generally, these things are very expensive to find a holder for them. So always have holders, very important. You should also be using lanterns, tea light lanterns, which means you put the tea light in a holder, and that holder then goes into what's called a lantern. Now, we all kind of know what lanterns are. I guess we don't use much of that. But basically, it's a square box with windows on it, and there's a little door there. So you open it up, and then you put the light in there, and it keeps it very safe. So it means there's no direct contact with the flame. Now, these lanterns get hot, and if you grab them, they're going to burn you. But it's very unlikely that any kind of fire can happen there. And, of course, you're not going to get the same kind of burn if you were touching a actual flame that you have in there. So the flame is encompassed there. The lantern will get hot, so you have to be a little careful. But it's about as safe as you can get. And as I said, it's pretty unlikely you're going to start a fire that way. If you had an open flame, well, if anything falls on it, a fire could start. So this is the only way to go. It's safe. It also then cuts down on the minor amount of soot you get. Well, it kind of stays in the tea light, and you don't have that problem. But it seems like tea lights don't seem to create the kind of soot that you get from any other type of candle, and I've used them all. So, that's the key. So you would take a tea light in the candle, put it on your in plate. That's going to go through the machine to the out plate, where you then have a photograph of the person there. So it's very, very simple if you have in and out plates. Now, if you're using one of our boxes, well, the simplest thing you need to do there is just actually put it on the top of one of our little radionic boxes, our symbolic boxes, and that's going to pick up the energy, and you're going to put the picture of the person inside the box, and the energy will then be transferred to that person. It's as simple as that. So it's very, very simple to use. Very easy and very fast. So with that, we all understand the entire process here, what can be done with the new techno-shamanic understanding of how you use the ancient technologies. Now, those people who want to explore other magical systems, we have a lot. We have Asian magic. We have fighting magic. We have Babylonian magic. So we have all these different types of systems that have been written that if there's something that interests you. And finding a system that you relate to or interests you is quite fun. We have lots of psychic empowered books as well, how to use your mind power. So, I mean, there's so much out there that we offer, and we want to encourage people because we don't talk about these that much, and I think we really should. We have lots of ancient grimoires. These ancient grimoires are pretty fascinating. These are the original books that were used hundreds and possibly thousands of years ago that have been slowly passed down. Now, grimoires in general tend to use what are considered grayish spirits. So a lot of people kind of stay away from them. But this is the classic literature. And of course, we don't edit anything. But you're supposed to take into consideration that if it has something odd in there, well, you don't do that. But we were not going to edit it out. We don't change any of our grimoires. I remember what a moron author this one person was, thinking that they were so smart. And they were redrawing the sigils and so forth to make them look pretty. Well, first of all, they look pretty good, whoever drew these hundreds of years ago to begin with, and that's not the point. The whole idea is you don't want a perfect looking sigil. You want something that somebody put their energy into, the original stuff. And that's what we have through our grimoires. So it's very exciting text to get these ancient grimoires, which are used hundreds of years ago in these different systems. And as I said, some of them deal with these grayer or blacker type energies, but you have to look at that and see what exactly the process is doing. See how complete the instructions are. And of course, again, it doesn't have anything to do with actually you giving any kind of worship or sacrifices. We have the greatest book of all times in ritual magic, which is on the darkest side, the Red Dragon Grand Grimoire. Now, this is the original text that was in French, which is the best one, and we've translated that from our very fantastic actual translator, who was a working magician, Robert Blanchard, who's no longer with us, who translated these great texts. And they tend to be on the darker side. But, these are basically a Christian text. You're calling on demons that you then tell that do this work or we're going to have God and Jesus come after you and kick your butt. And, of course, that's how you get them to work for you. That's how these things work. And, of course, we have special amulets for your practices to keep it 100% safe. But, if you follow these kind of things, you don't have problems. We also have the Black Dragon Grimoire, which is particularly infernal forces. But you can use these. The whole idea is that if you use them correctly as detailed, and you use them properly, well, there's really not a problem. And, if you're going to abuse anything, well, that's your problem. Some people drink too much water and they have problems. So that's something you should understand as well. So while these things, if it's something that you're concerned about or afraid of, well, the whole idea is you should probably stay away from it. But these are fascinating. This is the real stuff, people. We have the Grimoire of Faust to know how to control demons and so forth. We have several different pentacle books, and we have the These are all the original stuff, and they have the original designs in it. We have the Grimoire Vera, and we have several other grimoires that were put together. So it's really just a feast of wonderful ancient texts that you can enjoy armchair, or you can actually use them, and the books go into pretty good detail. And of course, they're all empowered. You don't really even have to do a ritual. All you have to do is use the CD that comes with it, by putting a picture on that CD, putting your command on there, and you've just used those spirits and that CD without a problem. You can do the same thing with a book. You insert your picture in the book on one of our numerous sigils there, and you've now activated that energy to you. So it's really an amazing system that I've had here. We have the classic book, the Handbook of Honorius the Magus. This goes way back, and all these go way back. These are the original exciting book. The Heptameron, another famous book of Agrippa, a famous magician. So, I mean, it's just amazing what's out there. Dr. Fayen's Grimoire, which is Scottish witchcraft. The original Fayen's book. And this was a guy who actually was executed falsely. But that's the book that he used. We have a Gargoyle Grimoire, which is kind of a strange book that's been around for a long time, but a fun one. And also you can get the Gargoyle Protection. Now, gargoyles have always been protective spirits. They were supposed to be fierce and ugly to chase away the demons. So, I mean, that's all part of it. We have so many great books. I hope people are checking these out and going there, as we kind of don't emphasize this much anymore because we're kind of into so much of the techno stuff. But there's so much out there that we offer. That's the classical stuff. And of course, we have a plethora of other books. Fighting Magic. What a great, unique book that is. We have the Elite Gamer book. You're into gaming? Well, we show you how to use psychic energies to make you a master gamer. Samurai Magic, and our book is the only complete one out there, and very exciting to have that kind of tech. We have a Ritual Magic course for those that want that. It's good to get that course if you're going to use grimoires so you know how to use it. The Babylon Magic from ancient Babylonia. We have the Hidden Secrets of Asian Magic. That's a really cool book. With most of these things that we offer are very difficult, if impossible, to find. We have a little mini course. I've always liked this book, the Mini Courses and Spells. There are 7 little mini courses in there that you can use very quickly. We have all these things there. We have a Brujo course, which is a very classic Mexican magic course, which is what Brujos use all over Latin America. Well, there it is. That's a master course that you can have right there. So, what a fantastic... and we have an interesting book, the updated Spitzelaw division, which is the modern magic edition of Spitzelaw, the old book. So we don't sell directly anymore. If you want the old system, you can go to Amazon where we are selling them. But this is the updated one where it's taken all the information out of the old text and put it in one. Fantastic. So look through that as well. So all of these fantastic resources there. And, those who are radionic people, don't be afraid of it. Look for things that you can do from these books and that you can incorporate with your machines. We're going to be offering more and more of this. But if there's a particular technique, a god name, or whatever you're doing, well, you can put that right in your radionic box. And that technically would be, quote, your altar. And you would be changing things right there and then. It's that exciting. So it's just mind-screwing of what you can actually do there. So this is very, very exciting from beginning to end. So the hybrid Techno-shamanism, using the highest subtle energy physics combined with ancient magic, and that's where everything comes from. Now, all science came from the ancient magicians, the, quote, sorcerers, the alchemicalists. All of that stuff is where things originated from that we now call science anyway. And what were they doing? They were taking nothing and making into the physical. Well, isn't that what subtle energy physics is about? Well, that's right. That's what subtle energy physics is about. So what we're doing today is using more machine-type technologies, but the best results will be obtained when you combine the two. And we're going to be talking about this more and more and coming out with instructional texts in the future where we show you how to combine the two traditions, the ancient magical system, and we do this already on machine. We have machines that have sigils on them, angel sigils. We have ones that use spirit sigils. Well, that's it. You put the sigils on this machine, which then produces a drawing and opening of energies, and these energies then help manifest what's there without having to go through a lot of the cumbersome, problematic putting up circles and everything else. And it's all 100% safe, and these things work and work well. So it's all there now in simple things. Our new Angel Onyx machine is really fantastic. And as such, you'll be able now to draw angels, which is to you, which are 100% safe. And these are spiritual energies that want to help you. Now, other spirits are there to help you as well. Now, they may be more on the gray side, but generally they have positive use as well. But these are 100% positive. We have very special stones with the carvings, the ancient sigils of the archangels. These are beautiful stones that have been carved into, and then a little bit of gold paint has been put on them to highlight them. What wonderful tools they are. Well, all you do is pop your photograph on the machine, then pop one of these stones on the machine for its particular purpose, and you're done. That energy will be sent to you. So you have to put your picture, and of course it's good to write down a little what you desire to kind of state exactly what you're looking for. This helps manifest things perfectly for you instead of less randomly. So with all that understood, I mean, this is the new reality using subtle energy physics. The Angelonic machine is fantastic. You can draw these things. You can leave these machines on 24/7. Keep your house protected. You got some sort of problem. Well, there is an angel that'll help you there. You've got a protection problem. You've got a money problem. You've got a health problem. Leave it on there. You can put a little statement, bring health to me, put your photograph on there, and you should be using, for the best results, you should be using a Radionic Tech camera, which is a Polaroid, but you put your desire, your picture, and then you put the stone on there, and you've got a fantastic. It also comes with cards of different angels as well, so you can put another angel on there as well that is geared towards your purpose as well. So you're done. You just leave it there. It's as simple as that, and you can leave it on 24/7 if you want to. These things use very little energy, but the whole idea is what happens is a particular type of frequency for that particular angel starts to vibrate, and it opens up all those blockages you normally have. So by using an electrical means of producing a frequency, this really opens up, like you consider it a vortex of energy where then this angel can come through, or whatever spirit it is that you're calling, and only that specific spirit can come through. That opens up a portal where they can come through easily. And that's one of the problems that, spirit energy entities, angels as well, it's difficult for them to manifest sometimes. And people think that angels may be easier to manifest others. Well, they're blocked a lot of times. Evil spirits are blocking them from coming and helping you. People don't think about this stuff. They don't want you to get help negative entities. So you need something more than just one little candle, and you could use a candle on the machine as well or next to it. Certainly that would help, particularly with an oil on it for your purpose. But there is blockages. And you need something that is very strong and creates a particular type of frequency to neutralize, create a vortex, and then you energize that vortex with that particular energy, and it sucks it in and starts helping you in life. I mean, these are amazing tools, and everybody's getting results with all of our new technologies. They all love them. It all works for them. And, of course, be realistic. So, people this is not Hollywood. These are not a magic lamp. You rub the side of the box and something pops up. It doesn't work like that, but these are damn close. And nobody else has our exclusive technology that I've worked on for over 40 years. And remember, I'm not just a business. I have a doctorate in subtle energy physics. I have a doctorate in the occult sciences. I've published over 35 books, 5 courses. I've been on the BBC, CNN, the Art Bell Show. I've been out there for many years, and I have been researching and perfecting these products. And now we're coming out with all the years of research. We're now popping out all sorts of fantastic technologies that work well for everybody, and you need to have these things in your life. It's as simple as that. This is what could save your life, make your life better, get you that great deal, get you that job, etc. You've got to energize what you're doing. This is all part of the manifesting process, understand. You have a cell phone, you have a computer, and you have a manifesting machine. That's the next level of technology. Having a computer and a cell phone is all well and good, but they just do tasks. And basically, you have to command them. Well, what about taking the energies and manifesting with them, empowering what you need, protection, health, success? Put the energy into that. You get a right manifesting machine. You make it part of your life. You use it continually, and you'll see how your life turns around amazing. I've been doing this for 50 years and trying to get technologies that are very potent out there for people to use, and we have come up with our new cyan generator that hopefully will be out in the next few months. So we've got it. We are just putting it in the final development stages, and it's going to be an awesome tool that everyone should have. But in general, if you don't have manifesting tools, if you don't have a Triforce system, you don't have a radionic system and a cyan generator, well, you're missing the boat. You need that edge. Life is getting worse and worse. It's not getting easier and easier. So the whole idea is you need that edge over everybody else, and here it is. It's sitting there waiting to be used, and it's super easy to use, takes very little time, and you just got to have it. It's as simple as that. So, and it works, plain and simple. So, All of this is part and parcel of what we're trying to get out there to the public to move them up to the next level. I've used these for years. I've done fantastic, and I continue to do extremely well. So all of this is the new next level of manifestation technology. Technology has to go beyond being a tool, a hammer, or a screwdriver. Yeah, these are important. These, of course, what do you do with those? Well, you make machines with them. And these machines do what you tell them to do. They're very mechanical, in fact, of doing a particular thing. Maybe they cut wood. Maybe they punch nails in a piece of wood. But, these are machines. They're not manifesting. The next level is to have a manifesting of less physical things. How do you make a machine to make success? How do you make a machine to make well-being or to make protection? Well, it has to be a special, subtle energy machine. And they're here, and they're amazing, and you're going to be some of the first people to have a chance to get these. So watch for these to come. These will be given to the All Access members first, and the Patreon members as well. And after that, then they may be released to the public in a very limited quantity, probably at a higher price. So keep that in mind, and remember, it's the blending of this new radionics. And we're going to have all sorts of radionic rates coming, but the one way we're getting around all that stuff is you have it. You get a radionic rate, oil rate plate, and then, of course, you rub the oil on there, you put it in your sheet, you're done. So you have to get the one type of oil rate plate. And of course, you have to get the oil as well. But as I said, these things last forever. So it's a little bit of investment to start off with. But this is something you're going to use for the rest of your life, and you're going to virtually use it daily. So do keep that in mind with all that. Now, the other thing with formulas, and of course that's what they are, there is, of course, the oils, which are common, but they're also made in powders, as I mentioned, for sprinkling. A great way to use things is to use our sprays. You spray your environment. Spray your bedroom, spray your living room, spray before you use a radionic unit to clear it out. Use uncrossing, protection, firewall protection. You spray the area, and what this does is kick out all these negativities. Something that people overlook, just like placing a lot of tools on our sacred energy cloths, which create a sacred space. Now, if your technology has to work against negative energies, which I can pretty much guarantee that we all do, we have to be very cognizant of the fact that you're getting blocked. So all of this is getting blocked, and you easily eliminate that by putting it on one of our energy cloths. Or another way to do it is to use one of our sprays. So you can spray your place to get rid of negative energy, to uncross it, to protect it. You want good vibrations for success? Well, spritz your house a few times. And again, these bottles last a long time, and with your sprays, once you've used up the bottle, well, just fill it up with pure water, and you can use it again, because that's how powerful these essential oils are. I do this all the time, and you could possibly get as many as 3 bottles for the price of 1 by doing that. All you're doing is refilling it. There's also incense if you want to, and of course, we have pure incense. You have to burn it on a little charcoal disc. So you break a little charcoal disc up into 4 little parts. You take one part, you light it, and then you sprinkle the incense over. Because our incense are the pure herbs and everything else ground together with a little bit of natural wood in there, usually bamboo, and then it burns. So that's another way to do it. And let's also not forget the all-important bath salts. So this is a great way to get the energy in you. So you take a tablespoon, 1 tablespoon, you put it in your bath, you sit in there for 10 to 15 minutes. You don't sit there for hours. That's another thing that is old school nonsense. So you sit in there for 15 minutes. You should wash yourself first, clean yourself off, wash yourself, rinse off, fill up the tub, put that tablespoon in there, sit in there for 15 minutes, and then get out. What you usually do is just pat yourself off. Don't dry yourself. Pat yourself off a little bit. Let it stay on the skin a little more. You're done. This can cleanse your aura. Very important for uncrossing, for negativity. So use your bath salts that way as well. So that's all part and parcel of what is going on with everyone. So of how to handle problems. So if you want to vibrate health, you want to vibrate protection, you want to uncross yourself, you want a high degree of success, that's how you do it. And all these things smell really nice. And again, you have to think energetically. You don't have to use a lot of it. So if you use a tablespoon for every bath, it's going to last you quite some time. You should do that 3 times a week if you're having a problem. So bath salts are wonderful. I mean, we even have washes, which is a liquid version of it, and you can pour this in buckets if you're cleaning your house or your floors. That's traditionally what, quote, washes were used for. So, and all of these are listed online. They're all available. They're sent direct from our manufacturer, so you get them quick and fast. And this is something you should know how to use. Now, I'm hoping to come up with a little mini book for this, but there's nothing like getting that classic course. And I wish everybody would get that and be able to have that. I mean, this is a resource that is worth its weight in gold, as the cliche says. It's just something everybody should have, and people should jump on that. And again, these are all ready to go. Everything is sent directly. Books are printed by Amazon, sent directly to you. The CDs come from the manufacturer, and the oil comes from the manufacturer as well. Our Alchemical master has been making these for 40 years. So do keep that all in mind. It's an exciting process. This all works. We know it works. It's all there. Plain and simple. All you have to do is access it. So it's there. Grab it, use it now. We're going into tougher and tougher times. Keep your energetic bodies up to their highest level for success, health, and protection, and your life will go wonderful. It's all there to be used. There's nothing new that has to come out here. We're perfecting certain technologies because this is what we're moving into, but even there, once you get the main tools, that's it. You don't need anything else. After that, you just need to get the different rate cards, the oils, and whatever else that are the witnesses that have that energy in it. You're not going to have to tune anything in. You're not going to have to do anything like that. All of it is there. So it is exciting. It's available now. So jump on it. Change your life. Get going to a new life, a new empowered life, with these fantastic tools. And of course, I'm always here to help you. If you have questions or other things, you can email us, and I'm happy to discuss anything you may need. Until next time.